Yeah, I don't know. That's
All right, y'all ready? Is everybody ready?
yes.
Dixie, what's the difference on public works between 67 and 68 about the paving on Fourth Street?
One was like from Westland to Del Rose, others from Del Rose to Gibson. But I'm gonna recommend we bid it out, because we talked to Roger today. I think the prices are gonna be close. I think we need to bid it out, in all fairness, so.
But it wasn't the owner that had it.
We call the meeting to order tonight, the Portland City Council. It's our first scheduled regular meeting on August the 6th. We apologize for starting late at about 6:30. We had a meeting beforehand that carried over past 6 o'clock. At this time, we're privileged to have with us Ralph Carter, who's the interim pastor at Oak Street Baptist. At this time, would we stand, please?
Pray with me. Father, we just thank you for this group and their commitment to the government of this city. God, I just pray that your hand is on them. I know the hearts of many of them, that they're seeking after you, and God, I'm sure the hearts of all of them, that they're seeking after your will. And so God, we know that you ordained government, and we ask, Father, your blessing on them. Give them your knowledge, your wisdom tonight as they govern. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you again, Mr. Carter. Appreciate you taking time to be here tonight. Roll call, Ms. King.
Alderman Bratton.
Here.
Alderman Callis.
Here.
Alderman Coker.
Here.
Alderman Harbin.
Here.
Vice Mayor McDowell.
Here.
Alderman Menace.
Here.
Alderman White.
All right, thank you. Next, we need approval of the minutes of July the 2nd and 16th council meetings. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussions or questions on the agenda? I mean,
Yes.
on the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said agenda. And
I was jumping ahead, sorry.
That's okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have the approval agenda. Do we have a motion to get it on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Now, if you, Callis, you want to?
I had asked to be placed for discussion on the agenda for tonight, dealing with the city manager versus strong mayor, just to give some different viewpoints, and people had asked. But then I was under the impression that we may have a couple of aldermen not going to be here tonight, and so I did not bring everything and set it up, because I didn't think we were going to do it for maybe a couple of weeks, and then it changed that a couple of
Did you not
aldermen.
get my, I texted you.
It was too late,
Too
because
late.
it was at the end of the day, and so I apologize for that. So I'm not prepared to do it tonight. I didn't bring everything with me.
So you want to just defer it to the next?
We can do it for 2 weeks when we meet, I guess.
Is that okay with everybody? So that would be item under
It was under legislative.
legislative,
If that's the case, we also need to do the same with
that's what I was fixing. to-
1228.
We need to, 1228 dealt with the finance, which is going to have to follow. Also have a public hearing, so it's okay to defer that one too, and the public hearing. Well, I guess we can still do the public hearing tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and take comments either way.
Mayor, I forgot about last Monday being the 5th Monday. And if you remember, I brought up the Oak Street property,
Right.
Mr. Rogers, and I asked him to be here tonight.
Okay.
And I had in mind that this was gonna be the,
Work study.
work study. So, can I get that added, or?
Yep. It's
Okay, he's here. He came at my request, and I forgot about the 5th Monday. I was thinking tonight was gonna be.
We'll put him under other business before we
Okay.
start. Okay. And also, I would like to add at the end of legislative, I have a request from the city judge. I'd like to discuss that at that point. In reference to his running for office, and he'd has a request in, so I'd like to discuss at that time and possibly take action. Anyone else on the agenda? So we're removing 2 items dealing with the discussion of the city charter and the finance director, and then adding an item about a street on a lot up between Oak Street and Highway 52 and a city judge. Anyone else? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Right, next we have public hearings on 3 items. We do have a section later in the meeting for public comments dealing with the agenda. So this time, the first is ordinance 12-31. It's ordinance approving contract between the City of Portland Airport Authority and State of Tennessee for maintenance costs for fiscal year 7/1/12 through 6/30/13. Does anyone need to make a comment specifically on this ordinance?
What area of maintenance is this covered?
It's general. They have monies each year that they allow for general maintenance.
This is public hearing that's
Right.
we reserved to the.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's,
Okay.
but it's for general reimbursement, for general maintenance.
Public hearing on part 30.
This is for the public.
Anyone else? All right, next, ordinance 12-32, an ordinance amending Title 8 in alcohol beverage. Does anyone need to make a comment on that? We're making a change in alcohol and beverage board. Okay, the third ordinance, ordinance 12-28, it's ordinance to rescind an ordinance creating a finance director, but we're not going to be actually voting on that tonight. But if anyone wants to make a comment since it's on the agenda, I would allow someone to make a comment for that. If not, that closes our public hearings. Next, we have communication from Alderman and Mayor. Does anyone have any comments they'd like to make to the public at this time? I have just a couple things. On August the 21st and 22nd, the Sumner County Trustee's Office will be here to help to sign up seniors on the tax freeze. So if you know anyone who falls within the tax freeze qualifications, they will be here on August the 22nd and 21st and 22nd to do that paperwork. That way they won't have to go to Gallatin, can do county and Portland's both here. So
A lot of people ask me what the maximum amount of income per household. Does anybody know what the maximum?
I would have to go look, Melvin, be sure I was
Well,
right.
And maybe we could just post that up on the webpage of the city would be nice as an
That'd be
informative
good.
thing that we could look for maybe, and we could
Yeah.
We'll get all the
correct people for
information we
that.
can on the tax freeze and do that.
Okay.
Because I think it was going on, when there's scale, I don't know, I just need to.
There was some other factors that
I
determined
think
it.
you're
So
right.
if people-
Yeah.
But if you know anyone, that way they won't have to make a trip to Gallatin.
Or
they can
or
do
they
it.
can, you might direct them to call the city recorder's office.
All right. The only other thing I have, I know it seems like here recently we've lost a lot of people in Portland, and I know Mr. McDowell family's going through a loss in theirs, but today, someone who's meant a lot to a lot of young people through Portland, Coach Edgar Johnson passed away. And I just think it deserves a time to mention that, and be it on his wife Evelyn, Bill, Jimmy, and Sarah Ann as they're going through this tough time. And I know he was my football coach and teacher, and a lot of y'all's too, and just meant a lot to this area. And of course, the stadium's named after him, and was an honor well deserved. So just remember them and our family and our prayers in the next few days. They're going through some very, very rough times. Does anyone else got anything? All right, next we have our reports. Do we have a motion to approve our reports?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next we have, Mr. Coker, can you get me, see, I think somebody signed up to speak and all that. It's a time where we have that you can speak on the, any item on the agenda. We do ask you to keep it about 5 minutes. Matthew Reed.
gentlemen, when I came to speak tonight, I believe you actually just took off the agenda, which the agenda was not available until 3:30 this afternoon. Based on the sunset law and transparency in government, that gives the citizens of this city no chance to look at the agenda to be able to base any argument or base any comments that they want to give to the council member or to the mayor itself. I ask, even though it's been removed, if you allow me to speak.
Early, since it's on the agenda, you're welcome to speak.
Well, first let me state that I'm a member of the CAC, and my opinions, my thoughts, my words have no reflection upon them. You know, I wrote this really nice speech that I wanted to read to you, but quite honestly, just listen to what's going on here tonight, I can't read it. Gentlemen, everyone here is a citizen, correct? I know I can't address anyone in particular. Everyone pretty much in this room is a citizen, watching on TV, internet, or radio. We're all citizens, right? But I raise the hands. Who loves this city? Anyone? Anyone willing to, on the council, to raise their hand? Mayor raised it. Jody raised it. Mr. Coker raised it. Who thinks that this city is worth saving? I do. I mean, anybody else here? Does anybody care about our children, our grandchildren, where we're going from this point? Gentlemen, we keep going down the same road. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Now, we talked about the city administrator. There are some who are against it. I cannot address them personally or directly, but I've been told and I've heard through discussions with them that some people want it for the wrong reasons. I wonder what those wrong reasons are. Are those reasons that interfere with personal gain or possibly being mayor one day? I have to ask myself, what's more important? What we want as people for our own selves, or what we want for our city, what we want for our children? You know, very simply put, gentlemen, our children are going to understand why we turned a blind eye when we had a chance to act, to make Portland a better place, to make it a place that they can be proud of, a place that's going to grow and prosper, that they can raise their children can raise their children. Now, the two people that stand to lose the most financially is the attorney and the mayor. Two gentlemen that have stated that they are for the city administrator. I've tried multiple times to get answers as to what the wrong reasons are. I have not gotten any answers back. I don't have to like your answers, but I can at least respect you for having the intestinal fortitude to stand up and say what it is. If you want to be mayor, say, I want to be mayor. I can respect that. May not agree with it, but at least I can respect it. Gentlemen, if someone in your family was sick, you do whatever you could to save them. If they were dying and the only thing was an experimental medicine that could help keep them around you, you take that chance. You would give the effort, even though you know it may not be the only one. Right now, the city's dying. We have businesses that are closing their doors. We have children that aren't in school. Now, granted, that's a county thing, but still at the same time, this city is sick. This city is dying. And yet we continue to give the same medication. It's not working. We need to try to go down a different road. Like I said, I can at least respect you saying, well, I want to be mayor. I think I can make the changes that would make this city great. I think I can bring us back from the brink. And the thing is, you can still be mayor. You can still do those things. The city administrator doesn't take away your power. If anything, it gives you more power. Now, it takes away the mayor's right to veto. Well, the thing is, mayor, you've used it, what, twice in the past roughly 8 years? And even then, if it passes by a large enough margin, his veto doesn't even count. Anything that a city administrator would do has to be approved by these gentlemen sitting in front of us right now. All of you. You don't lose power. You just have someone else doing all the grunt work, running the day-to-day. That gives you more time, more chances to make this city better, to get out there and talk to the citizens. Now, it was said the last time that, you know, well, there's a couple people up here who hadn't voted. Granted, I didn't vote in the last election. Does that make my words, my thoughts, or my love for the city any different? No. My wife voted. She voted for several of the people that are up here. Heck, a couple of the people she voted for up here, she thought would be pretty good. And the ones she didn't vote for turned out to be some of the strongest members we got. Some of the ones that I've turned out to respect a lot more than I thought I would. This city needs a change, gentlemen. You can't keep turning a blind eye to what's going on. When you sit inside this building, most people drive by and look at it like it's a prison. They don't want to go in. They don't want to be anywhere near it because they're afraid. I'm not afraid of anybody sitting on this board. I'm not afraid of any of you. I'll be more than happy to stand up and speak my mind. Some citizens won't do that because they're afraid, because they know you. They know someone that you employ. They're friends with some of your family. We have to make a change. And I'd like to think that you would have the courage, because greatness is defined by responsibility. You're responsible to every single voter in this town, every citizen, whether they vote or not. You work for us. And I've talked to enough people to let you know they're ready for a change. They want a city administrator. I don't think it's going to hurt. Alderman Coker made a wonderful presentation, which I saw a couple of you not even look at. You didn't even sit forward and take notice. And a couple of those were members that voted no. And I have to wonder, gentlemen, was it for personal gain because you want to be mayor? Or was it because you just don't care about this city? I'd like to think it's the first and not the latter. I hope the gentleman that did vote no will reconsider that vote and try to make this a better place for my children, your children, all of our children to live. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, on our other business, I had someone request to be on there, but I do not see him here in the audience tonight. I don't believe Mr. Gentry is here, so we will go on.
I think if you would, I think he wanted a work study. Maybe we got confused. Could we just put that on the work
Yes,
study?
we will do that.
Because it'd be more appropriate, because he has some
Right.
concerns about public work issues.
All right. Okay. All right, next, Mr. Menace.
Well, Mr. Rogers lives on Oak Street, and there's a lot between him and the drainage
Right.
ditch. I think most of you probably familiar with it. He's been mowing this lot for 14 years. It grew up, bushes and things. He got Fuzzy Clubs to come over with a bush hog and tractor and chopped it down then to where he could finally get to mowing it. And he's kept it mowed for 14 years. And he would like to have it. I would like for us to give it to him and us keep an easement, whatever we need, you know, across it, but give it to him. If we're not, we need to keep it mowed like he does, like he's been doing.
Okay. I mean, like we discussed, and I'm not opposed to it. I think I just, you know, I said last meeting we're having some drainage studies done to the grant. I'd kind of like to wait till that's done and see if we need any extra footage, and then if we don't, then we can work our footage out, just be sure we got an easement. But I'm agree with you. I think, but I personally would just like to wait until we be sure they're not going to need to widen or anything.
This study being done now,
Yes, it's underway now.
do you understand, Clyde, that there's a study being done on that drainage ditch if it needs widening or?
Right. Yeah, we got a grant to do drainage work. Mainly it's for the industrial park area because they had to be tied to jobs, but they're going to look at everything that feeds into the channel, and there may need to be some things done to try to capture some water or slow it down. So I'm all for it, and you've done a good job keeping up, and I think you deserve it. But I just like to wait till we got that study done and then figure out, you know, where the line actually needs to be. But I mean, I agree. I think I'm fine with it.
I'll keep you up to date on
Appreciate it.
Okay. And thank you, because you do take care of it, and we do appreciate it.
it. He does a good job with it.
CAC, Mr. Gardner? Okay. All right, next, Planning Commission, Mr. McDowell, Vice Mayor.
This will be ordinance number 12-73. Y'all don't mind, I'd like to read the resolution. Resolution number 1273. The resolution,
Before you get started, I was going to mention this, but if you're going to read it, the next to last paragraph, the whereas the mayor is refusing or has been conducted a public hearing, that needs to be struck. When he's doing that, use the template resolution, and that one needs to be, that last whereas needs to be taken out of there. Just delete it out of the resolution.
all right.
Sorry about that.
It's pretty good. Okay, once again, I'll start over. This is resolution 12-73. A resolution to accept a tentative new public street by the city of Portland, Tennessee. Whereas the city of Portland has received a request to accept a new public street just off Davis Street, a proposed public street within the corporate limits to be named Automotive Way. Whereas such street, once completed, will become an industrial access road for several industrial activities in its near vicinity. Whereas the acceptance of a new street must be accomplished by formal action of the mayor and city council in the manner established in the subdivision regulations of Portland, Tennessee. And whereas the Portland Municipal Regional Planning Commission has reviewed such request and has recommended the acceptance of the new street to the city of Portland, the city council, provided with the intent to officially accept it as a public street once the construction of said street has been completed. And now therefore be resolved by the mayor and city council of the city of Portland, Tennessee, that we do hereby accept this new street into the city's public street system upon its full completion. Move to approve.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
This is the building between, on Davis Street, it's between Sabaki and Hospital Disposals presently has a warehouse there. It's property that was been owned by the city for years, but we're needing to actually make it a public right-of-way into a street. And the state is actually going to pave it most of the way, then Sabaki's going to pave it the rest of the way. And we'll go back into the lot that we have. So we'll presently serve 2 industries, in the future industries.
How far back does the city own?
But we've got, if you go to the map right behind that,
No, I didn't.
Here it is.
Didn't get them out.
see the little L there, and then it
Yeah.
goes back into that open lot, back where that L goes back in that open lot back there behind.
Okay. I was wondering if it was gonna go on back to the railroad.
Well, I mean, it could eventually,
Perfect.
but right now, this is property, like I say, we've owned for years, but we need to, since it is gonna become, actually, you need to make it a public right of way to actually declare it a public street.
Well, this Collins property, that'll make a street available to it also,
Right.
yeah. Understand.
Any other questions or comments?
I know this is kind of a unique situation, but it just struck me if this is kind of backwards of the way we usually do it. Don't we wait till a road is done before we accept it?
The
It's
city
still-
owns this property.
And we're gonna be doing the work and
The state is.
the state is? Okay.
Actually, what we're doing here is declaring it a right of way, and then actually, we will actually accept the work of the street at a later resolution.
Okay, that's what I
Right,
thought we were
actually
doing.
construction.
Okay.
That's
all right.
according to stuff, we actually have to declare it a public right-of-way street, even though it's public property, we've got to declare it a public.
Okay, all right, that
But yeah, it
clears
would
it up.
actually have to be done according to.
So we're not
specifications.
accepting the quality of the street
No,
before it's
we're just
built?
ex-
Okay, all right.
The public right-of-way. We're taking public property and making it public something else.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else, Vice Mayor?
No, sir, it's all on planning tonight.
All right. Mr. Bratton, move on to Public Works.
Yes, Public Works, Resolution 12-66. It's a resolution to solicit for bids for paving of East Ninth Street. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion?
Just briefly, we discussed this in the work study. This is a street that extends out East Ninth from 109 over to the railroad track. There was a commitment made several years ago to pave this street. We have a existing business and potential for other business, so we feel like it's in the benefit of the city to do this at this time. Is that pretty well summed?
He's got one building back there, and he told me if he got paid, he's gonna build another one.
All right, any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Bratton, before you move further, the next two resolutions do with paving of Portland Boulevard. One is from Westland to Delrose, another one from Delrose to Gibson. Of course, we talked about the last work study, and Public Works is doing some research. We did get a price from the county, but after doing further research, we think it'd be best interest of the taxpayers and the city to put these two out for actual bid. And we think we may even get a better price from the way it looks. So I guess I'd like to, because we combine these and say we just put them out for bid, paving out for bid.
I don't understand the descriptions of the road here, because it seems like we're paving two sections of it once by the wording here.
I think, is it so we could pass one and not the other?
Well, we had talked about, depending on how our money, we had to get from Westland to Gibbs, from Westland to Delrose. And then if we had enough money, we would do from Delrose to Gibson. So that's the reason we did it in two different resolutions.
Because if they require grinding,
Mine says Delrose to West Street, and then Gibson to West Street, and that overlaps to Westland. Gibson to Westland would encompass Delrose Drive. It would go by Delrose Drive.
yeah, it should say from Gibson to Delrose.
Yeah.
And then from Delrose to
Right.
Westland.
Well,
Okay.
then the other one was from Delrose to Westland.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes,
You just took the difference, so.
Yeah.
Well, 1267 says from, okay. I
Right.
got you.
Yeah.
So I guess what your request
Or
is
if you
tonight,
pass one, it would do the whole thing. If you
Right.
pass the other, it would do
Right,
half.
when you
Ah,
make all,
gotcha.
right.
I guess your request tonight for a possible amendment would be then, do you think the funds are there if we bid it to bid the entire project
Right.
rather than bid it in sections?
Right,
So from what street to what street you would like to?
from Gibson to Westland.
From Gibson to
Westland.
Westland?
Westland.
So I would entertain a motion. Do I have to do these separate? Can I combine them?
I think we can combine them.
Is there any way to do any work on that curve while they're in the process of doing that?
They can, that's something we talked about, I think, do a little, and we can do the pre-work on that.
That's where that dangerous S
They'll
curve
just
is
be
up
the
there.
minor paving.
Well, are you
They'll bid it per ton, so.
Are you combining 67, 68 here?
Yes,
Is that the-
uh-huh.
No, it's
Okay.
actually 66 and 67. Yeah, 67.
But
You're
67,
adding,
68.
you're adding to each of these resolutions, the authority of the city to also obtain a bid from a party other than the Sumner County Highway.
Right.
And so if you accept that, it would be, I assume you would approve the lesser of the bids.
Right.
But you've got a specific bid on each of those.
I can just clean it up. I'll make a motion to disapprove Resolution 1266 and 1267.
it's 67.
Yeah.
I mean, 67 and 68.
Disapprove.
Yeah, disapprove them, then they go away, and then we deal with
Is that a word?
something new.
Well, you're just gonna withdraw them from the agenda.
Well, we can do either. Let's
Right,
not
but
get
he's gonna
technical.
replace it with another one.
But we can, yeah.
Right,
But I can propose another resolution.
right. So
Oh,
we have
I
a
see,
mo-
because they say Sumner County
Right.
Highway Department.
Yeah.
Right, so,
Okay.
Mr. Bratton has proposed motion that we take off the agenda 1267, 1268, then it will replace with something else after this vote. So do I have a second?
If I have a second.
Second.
All right, any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No? All right,
So I'll make a motion that we put out to bid for paving from Gibson Street to Weston Street.
Put out the bid 67 and 68.
No,
okay.
no, just put out the bid from Gibson Street to Weston Street.
All right. And then let me,
Aye.
what we normally do when,
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. So what we normally do on these type of bids, they'll come in basically, they'll have a rough price, but it'll be based by the tons, where they under a little bit or over a little bit. You know, the price may go up or down a little bit. We normally have done it where we'll keep those bids like for a year or 2 years. Is it okay to do this the same way? That way, if we have other projects, we already got a price that's been bid out. We just figure the tonnage and have a rough idea about what the
Yeah,
bid
the
price.
unit, yeah,
You just won't get
yeah, yeah, that's okay. And I guess would it be appropriate to do like 1266A, or we just gonna allow her to attach resolution number to it?
67.
1267A or
Well,
something?
she'll just give him.
Just give her a new one, okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Does everyone understand? what-
It'll be a resolution to solicit for bids to pave Portland Boulevard from Gibson to Westland, right?
Yes.
And
And
if
we-
the bids come back in, I'm assuming that the Sumner County Highway Department won't bid, right?
Right, we have their price, so we can.
So even though they're not part of the bid process, we can still accept
Because they're
their
another
price.
government entity, we can accept theirs and not accept the bid.
Okay, so I want to make sure we wasn't legally bound to have to take one of the bid.
No, we have the right to reject or accept any of the
Okay.
bids. And then,
They're gonna come back if they're less and ask
Oh, I know
that those
that.
bids be accepted by this body.
and we did have, Sumner County Highway Department and the private contractor look at them, and they felt like the roads were not any grinding. They felt like they were okay to put a small binder and then come back with their, so we didn't have that looked at.
So they will get a binder.
Well, I mean, they'll, not necessarily a binder, but leveling mix, I guess is what I mean to say, leveling mix, and then they would come back with the
Top coat.
right. All right, anyone else, any comments on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution, excuse me, Resolution 12.69, 12.69, a resolution authorizing acceptance of the best bid for 185 CF portable air compressor. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Did we ever decide which one of those we're gonna take?
We're going with the Atlas, because it is the screw.
It is a screw?
Right. That's-
What about,
All right, we had a motion, we have a second before we,
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second.
6 to 8, we combined it.
All right, any other comments or questions on our?
It is a screw, just it
Yes.
said.
So I did check, and it is the lesser of $13,545. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 12-70, an amendment to Resolution 10-56 to add carts that have been damaged caused by City Sanitation Department continual use be replaced at no charge to customers. Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions?
You want to clearly explain exactly what that does, Mayor, or maybe have, just brief.
Basically, there was some confusion on the way our, interpret how we replace trash carts after they are been initially bought for by the customer, and this is the carts who have been damaged caused by city sanitations or anything in a normal use, not any type of external or vandalism or anything that the customer would have done, then the city will replace it for free.
That's it, with a used one.
If used or available and or new.
Used or new.
Just replace.
Okay. I've been told that a lot of these cars have been thrown in the back of the trucks, and we paid to have them disposed of. I'd like someone to be responsible to know that these cars are being destroyed that are actually not usable.
All right, Thomas, can you come up with a plan where that takes place? All right, anyone else? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Resolution 12-71, a resolution to hire 2 full-time collection employees for 2 positions that are open due to recent transfers for the city of Portland. Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
The names we're talking about are Lucas Baker and Patrick Hammonds, and they both were part-time help for the city. One was in the Parks Department, which Patrick is right back there in the blue shirt, and of course Lucas is up here. So they both have proven to be good employees under part-time status.
The resolution states that positions are open due to transfers. Just kind of fill us in on.
We
what
had,
that
you know, we had opening at the plant, one of them went to the wastewater plant, and had opening in water, one of them went to water, so that created some. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, anything else, Mr. Pratt?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Callis, folks.
I have got one question. These 2 employees that left, that transfer, where'd they transfer to?
Wastewater treatment plant and water distribution.
Okay, is this water distribution, is it gonna be filled to the full time?
Yes.
It'll be James Perry.
This guy will be put on full time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. All right, anything else under public work?
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Callis, in our public section.
Resolution 12-72 is a resolution to hire 3 volunteer firemen for the City of Portland Fire Department. They are Stephen Knight, Brandon Dillmore, and Stephen Jernigan. Move to approve.
I have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
These firemen experienced? Any of them have experience?
Yes, sir. Two of them are actually career firefighters, full-time firefighters for other cities.
Okay.
And one has, the less of the three that has the experience in there has had his rookie school and live burn through the state academy, and has had about a year or so of experience with one of the volunteer rural departments.
Oh, thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, anything else, Charles?
No, sir.
Next on the legislative, first two items were taken off the agenda. I did add city judge. I have a letter from our city judge, Steve Glazier. Basically, as all of you know, he is running for state representative in the 44th district. He has checked, also the city attorney has checked. No word we find in state law or the ethics committee saying there's anything wrong with him running for office and also being city judge. He feels like in the best interest of the city, himself, and this race to remove that burden, he would like to have a leave of absence starting immediately until the end of the election in November to be sure that no one feels like there's any improprieties or anything going on. In his letter, he recommended that his son, Zachary Glazier, would be allowed by the city to be the interim judge. He meets all the requirements. He is a licensed attorney. He is of age and so forth, meets all the requirements to be a city judge. And he would ask that he could be appointed to fill the interim position, which he does want it back at the end of his November election. But he just feels like in the best interest of everybody, it's best for him to take a leave of absence. And I respect him for that, and I would like to honor that. And I have no reason to, not see that his son for the position. He felt like it would be a good transition. If there's questions and things come up, then, they could talk and he could help them. So, according to the charter, the mayor can fill this spot temporarily, but either at this meeting or next meeting, the council will need to officially vote to recommend his son, Zachary, to be the judge up until the time of election in November.
But at election time, it'll be time, that doesn't mean he's automatically gonna be the judge if Steve gets elected, right?
Now, Steve can, being elected, he can do both, but he just felt like in the campaign it'd be best if he was not judge. So he just asked for leave of absence up to that time.
When you say immediately, do you mean?
He's would like to not, he's requested that he don't even do court this week, since the primary is over and he's into election. Of course, I can, according to the charter, the mayor has the authority to appoint a temporary until the actual next official meeting. If we don't want to wait and make an actual vote at that time, we can do it tonight, either one.
We don't even have to vote on it, do we?
Yes, according to charter, we do. So,
I'll make a motion.
I
okay.
don't understand why we're waiting, then why don't we just do it?
Okay, that's what I want to go ahead and do it.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm just, be devil's advocate. If you want to clean it up, we ought to just get somebody else to do it until November, if you're gonna.
Right, that's what we're doing.
That's what
We're
this
getting-
does.
Well, it really doesn't, because it just brings a family member in, so if there's impropriety, someone might think there's impropriety. If you was gonna clean it up, you'd
That's
help.
a good point.
I'm just saying, if you really wanted to, I mean, nothing against, I don't even know the young man, but,
That was the first impression that I got, is if you're trying to step away from something, so there's no question as to your motives.
Yeah. We want everybody to think about it until
Yeah.
the next meeting, and
Okay.
then just let me know your thoughts.
yeah, just, and then have an option, and then I may think about it. I got hit with it tonight, so
Right.
when you
I know,
get hit
that's
with
the reason
something, you don't, you react to it, and I don't like to react without,
And that's the reason I wanted to bring it up.
Let me try to understand something here. It's your option to appoint him, isn't it?
But y'all have to approve it according to
We
charter.
have to
at next-
approve it.
At the next meeting.
So,
So I'll present your recommendation. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the meantime.
okay. I thought a while ago you needed a
Right.
motion.
But we can do it now or the next meeting.
Well, it
I
doesn't
sense
matter to
everybody
me.
needs to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it'd be,
Okay.
I didn't know Glacier when he come in either, so it doesn't matter to me.
I knew him, I wrote him a ticket once.
And let me say this, nothing, he's done a good job, it's nothing personal against him, sometimes you just have to, we just need to think through these things.
Right. He didn't hold it against me.
Well, that's good. All right, that's all I have on our legislative tonight. Next, we have ordinance, the second reading of ordinance 12-28. No, let me go. I'm 12-31. It's an ordinance approving contract between the Portland Airport Authority and the State of Tennessee of Transportation Aeronautical Division for maintenance costs for fiscal year 7/1/12 to 6/30/13. I'd ask a motion to get it on the floor.
So moved.
So,
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Basically, this is a contract with the state where they can reimburse us back up to $14,300 for maintenance that may occur in this next fiscal year. And we do this every year, and that's everything out there does, but certain things fall under that guideline. So we just have to go ahead and approve the contract. At the end of the next fiscal year, like we're doing now, Denise can turn those costs in and we get reimbursed back for them. So it's basically items that's in our regular budget, we would just be able to get some help from the state for to reimburse us. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next, we have two resolutions dealing with the airport. One is on the new terminal building, and one is on the final phase of the airport safety area project. Doug is here, and I think Doug needs to talk. Would y'all want him to just talk now, Jeremy, about both of them, or wait, let's deal with each one separately and let's ask some questions, or just let him kind of give an overview now of both of these?
Let him give an overview.
One's
both
been the
of
work study and one hadn't.
Right.
So I would definitely want it to 1274.
So why don't you just go ahead, Doug, now kind of get an overview, then that way after we, on both projects.
On both of them?
Yes.
Okay, the first one, resolution 1274, that's a resolution supporting a grant application to Tennessee Department of Transportation for Aeronautics Division for construction of a new terminal building. They've come across new money, so it's 95.5. Ours is 5%. I met with them Tuesday of this week, and we feel like now's the time to increase. Our building was built in '72. We need a lot of maintenance done on it, and we just feel like it's time to bring it up to date, and it's a good deal for us. Once we do this grant, we'll just see where it goes from there.
What's the price tag on the
We're looking right now at about 800,000, and based on information I got, I think I'm gonna be able to cover it. But you know, I still have to have y'all's.
So that'd be $40,000 just the city's portion.
Yeah. And I think I had budget this year, I think I put 60 in, I don't remember, but, I really feel like it won't cost us anything, but I still have to have y'all's go ahead and do it.
I think he's had some people interested in this that are willing, once it gets in the flow, to give some private donations toward it. But
The second one, the RSA 12-1275, this is one you've already approved, and we canceled out the one we approved for reasons that we've discovered, and went back with another grant at 95.5. The other one was at 90.10. So this is actually going to be a savings in the long run of about $10,000 on what we've already passed.
what's the difference in the price tag?
It's a difference between 700,000 and 1.4, but still saving us 10,000. We're not out no more money. Because the other one was at a 90.10, where this one's at 95.5.
We can do more for less, I'm always for it.
all right, anybody got any questions for Doug?
You've got this money budgeted?
We've already got that money.
Pardon?
We've already got the money to take care of it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and it is budgeted,
Okay.
Both items.
both items. The one item's the one that we had the 50,000 left out of the T-hangers for,
Mhm.
and then we
I
added.
remember that one.
We added 20, well, we're not gonna use but 10 of that 20 now, because it's actually 52,000, I'm not gonna use but 2,000 of that last 20.
It's the terminal building, I just wanted to make sure.
You know, the terminal building, and like I said, I wish I could say I'm gonna cover it, but I'm 99% positive it ain't gonna cost us a dime.
Okay.
But I
And
still
this
have
is
to
just-
have.
This is
the
just
backup.
supporting the application, it's not
Right.
approving the money to be spent,
Right.
correct?
Right, and then when it's approved and come back, I'll be coming back to you, but basically what the other airports have done, once you get this approved, we get donations on rooms in the airports for, like, we set a price for the lobby, $10,000, for the conference room, $5,000. That donation comes in, it goes towards the grant. I've already got over half of it.
Where will this new terminal be built?
It'll be built just a little bit south of where the old terminal is, on property that we already own. You know where Mr. Darcy's house is there? It'll be between there and the old building.
Well, old terminal building, what'll it be utilized for?
It will be tore down and be parking.
Be tore down?
Yep.
Not worse.
No, the elevation now and the floor and stuff, well, we got water coming in, and I come out here today, I had union in the ceiling was leaking, running the ceiling in the office. It's just a lot of little things. It's never been brought up to standards as far as handicap.
What's the cost of demolition on them?
That's all in this.
That's all in the ground?
Brian, you want okay, we got resolution 12-74. Do we have a motion to get it on the floor?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, this is one on the terminal building. If any more questions for Doug on the terminal building? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next we have resolution 12-75. This is a resolution for the airport runway project, which you already approved, come down back with new grant terms, 95.5 to 90.10. We have a motion to get it on the floor.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
See any other comments or questions on this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you, Doug.
I
Appreciate it.
think this will be a good thing for the city, because y'all really gonna see something nice come out of it.
All right, the other item on the agenda, Mr. Harbin, under Alcohol Beverage Board.
That's the second reading, ordinance number 12-32, an ordinance amending Title 8, Chapter 2, Section 8212 of the Portland Municipal Code. Motion to get it on the floor.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, now comments and questions.
This is the one that, I don't have a copy of it.
You don't have a copy of the,
It's the new rules, right?
this is the,
Just adding one paragraph.
yeah, adding a paragraph to the prohibited conduct and activities by beer permit holders.
Okay.
Right, we're, you actually basically added a section 10 to that.
In our current, I guess that's a code, that it just mainly covers alcohol-related offenses. It doesn't cover if there's a fight down there every night or anything like that, so this kind of covers all that other stuff.
You know, criminal, or any type of law where a violation may result to someone who has a active permit. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Does anyone have anything else?
While we're under the alcoholic beverage part of this, I didn't add this to the alcoholic beverage meeting, or it was running so late and running over into our regular meeting. But I don't know how many of y'all seen the email back that Sid Hensley from MTS sent back about issuing a beer permit to someone that's got a liquor by the drink license. And I have a copy if you're welcome to have it on here. His legal opinion he gave back says that they really can't, it's almost the law is confusing on it, that they can't say one way or another whether they think that's, whether you can or can't. He just says in his legal opinion that specifically the authority of municipalities to adopt distance regulations conflicts with the authority of the ABC to license any establishment that meets the location requirements of TCA. And what it's in reference to is having a business that actually falls within our distance where they cannot obtain a beer permit, but they can get their liquor by the drink license, which is a more level of alcohol than the beer would be. One of the things that he says that you can do to clean that up so there's no questions, and so you don't have to worry about somebody trying to challenge you and take you to court to try to fix it, is just to change that in your beer ordinance, just to make an exclusion for that if they can apply for the liquor by the drink license and successfully get that you would allow them to have their beer permit, regardless of where their location may be or all those other things. Now, it still wouldn't affect markets and just bars and things like that. It'll be places that specifically have liquor by the drink license, and they have to be able to serve food. Their primary business has to be the serving of meals in order for them to obtain that license.
Is this kind of just a future reference type thing, or does this affect the one holder that has a liquor by the drink permit currently?
Who has it? The
New Mexican
Senior
restaurant.
Fajitas? Yeah, I mean, they're not in violation of anything there, so. One of the things that brought this up was their family owns the Mexican restaurant on Main Street, and they can get liquor by the drink license there all day and serve margaritas and that sort of thing, but they can't sell beer there because, by the way the crow flies they fall within our distance. And there's a lot, he said that this is not unique to us, a lot of cities are having this dilemma they're having to deal with.
What's the liquor by the drink, 250?
There's nothing on liquor by the drink.
There is no distance for
There's
liquor by
nothing.
the drink.
I mean, Jasca could sell wine in the occasions down there in the church parking lot, and you can't stop that. But you can't sell beer there. I mean, I don't think she's gonna try to do that. I'm just using that for an example,
Yeah.
obviously. But I just bring it to your attention to give you some, let y'all think about it. Somebody wants us to maybe introduce a change to our beer ordinance to allow for that.
You can get us all a copy of that.
Yes, I actually thought he emailed it to everybody, but you are welcome to have that.
I didn't receive it. Maybe that'd be something good to put on the work study for next Monday.
Okay. Who's making that? Okay. All right, we're gonna have several, items on the work study next week's meeting, several, pretty components.
You have the newspaper thing back on there.
Yes. All right, anyone else have anything else? Thank you, Mr. McDowell.
No problem.
Any, not, we'll, consider meeting adjourned.
Let me tell you, man, I think you're drinking way too much Maker's Mark.